Olena, yeah? Oh, may ka eh. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Hikike lohe? Hikike ike?
Ai
Yeah.
hiki ke lohe,
Okay.
hiki ke ike.
Okay. So I'm going to show you guys the Olena. This is the Olena. So this plant is such a hardy plant. You know, some plants like the kalo, they have this disease called a blight. But you know, this Olena, look, I plant them next to the kalo, even with all the blight, they're still hardy. They're still growing good. So it's an easy plant to grow. I know a lot of people say, they tell me, oh, Kumo, I'm not good with planting, you know. I go, as long as you water. But that's not all there is to planting, you know. You gotta want to plant, you gotta build a relationship with the plant. That's the whole part about planting, you know. You don't just put stuff in the dirt and then water when you need water and that's it. You gotta go over there and go, hey, how you guys doing? You know, make sure no weeds. So it takes a lot of time to plant, but it's very rewarding. So if you guys plan to plant your own Olena, this is how the plant would look. And then this is the flower that it comes with. And you know what is beautiful about this plant is that you can use everything. The leaves, you know, I take the leaves and I put fish, I steam it with my fish. And then I also dry it to make tea. You can also take the flowers, see this part here, and you can eat it. It's very sweet. See, you guys can see them. Hikike ike.
Ai
Okay.
hiki ke ike. Oh,
And it's
ilalo.
really,
Yeah, yeah,
really,
yeah.
oh, ike. Hikike
Ano?
ike.
Oh,
Oh
malaila.
yeah.
Ai hiki ke
Oh
ike,
yeah.
hiki ke ike.
Yeah. The flower is very, very sweet. The nectar is, oh no, I'm going to eat this one. Anyway, so it has, you know, these long stems and then the leaves kind of flare out. And then the Olena flower is the most beautiful flower, I think. It's so cool. And then in the ground, you're going to find the rhizomes, they call it. Yeah. You know, there was a lady that was saying at one kind of event we had here, she was saying, you know, I have that plant, but I don't see any of that rhizomes you're talking about. Yeah, it's in the ground. So you have to dig it up. So there's the green one here you can see. That's, you know, that's kind of piercing out, yeah, poking out. But I'm gonna go show you guys the one I just dug up. Okay, so this planter here was originally Uwala and Olena. But then I decided I want to plant Kalo. So I pulled everything out, redid this mala, but you know, all the old plants, they're still in there. So the Uwala came back. That's why if you
ʻAnake
look at
aole hiki ke ike.
Ka Uwala, oh,
No,
Miki, yeah.
aole hiki ke ike.
Is it? Ma'am, Maki.
Ko mea, yeah, wapani ka, wapani.
Yeah. Ah, Alia. Ay mamya. Ay maloko oka. Maaniya. Oh, peha. Ike au.
Ai hiki ke
Oh yeah. Kala mai pono mo maka ala kela mea. Yeah, here moi oya. So, hikia oike kanu, you can plant your Olena in a planter like this, or you can also plant it in a pot. I'll show you guys. I have some here in a pot. Here we go. Can you guys see?
ai.
Yeah. So this one, we planted it last, I want to say last year, a year ago. And look how big it's gotten. So it's died back once. We didn't harvest the rhizomes, because when you plant the Olena, it's good to let it die back at least twice before you harvest. So there's, there's several ways of planting the Olena. You can plant them in a, like the planter that I showed you guys, or you can just plant it down in the ground like I have in this mala, or in a pot. Whatever works for you. If you guys, if you're living in an apartment, plant them in a pot. Some people like it in a pot because when it's ready to be harvested, you just throw the plant out of the pot and there's the rhizomes. When you plant it down like this in the ground, then you have to go dig it up with your shovel, which is what I just did. So let me show you guys some of the rhizomes. Can you guys see that? Sticking out over here. Sometimes the rhizomes, because they're growing, they kind of stick out of the dirt. It's important that you try and cover it up so it can, get more mature. These are young rhizomes. They're not quite ready. You want the ones that's orange. So let's go to my my fancy what is that? One of my students made me this really cool like a sifter, but I put the Olena on here, the rhizomes, and then I clean it. So here's one of the Olena plants that I dug out. You see the rhizomes all over here. Hikike ike.
Ike.
So, here in Hawaii, we try to plant according to the moon phases. So, if it's ole moon like now, right now it's kind of ole moon now because we just had a full moon. It's best to not plant. So instead of planting, you prepare the area where you're gonna plant. Because if you plant it on an ole moon, it's not gonna have that much rhizomes. So see the rhizomes. Ike.
Ike.
Okay. So this here are the roots. This guy here, the Olena part, that's what they call the rhizomes. They're not roots. These are the roots. This guy's here. So you just break it off the plant. I put it in this sifter here and then I shoot it down. So this guy here, you see this guy here? You can replant it. So I just clip off the leaves, and these leaves are really nice leaves still, so I'm gonna dry them to make tea with. So here again, more rhizomes. I think we have many in here, yeah. The one I first pulled. So if you notice, these guys are kind of young yet. The green area, this is kind of young. It's not going to be as potent, but you still can use it. These are more the mature one, this guy here. And then these are all the new growth. See, this one is not ready, but I use it anyway. I don't waste. And then here's the older growth, older rhizomes. But mostly new ones here. So, it takes about, it grows by cycle. So it takes about 5, 6 months, and then it'll, produce. So one of the indicators when you're planting your Olena is you notice that the plants all dies back. Like this is a dieback. So the leaves are all gonna dry up. that's indication that, oh, the plant is drying up, is gonna go to sleep. And some people like to harvest after it all dies back. I harvest whenever I need. So I harvest all the time when I need. Yeah, so we just do this, you know, take all of the rhizomes off of the plant, the leaf, the, oh, we call it this guy, what is that? Stem, like the stem, yeah. And then these guys can go back in the dirt, grow again. So I pick it up for whatever I'm gonna do, and then I shoot it down, clean it. There's plenty here. See? I'm gonna shoot these guys down quickly, and then we can clean some, and then we can go make laʻau. So when you're making laʻau, yeah, people ask, oh, what you supposed to do? You know, are you supposed to what is that? Be in a certain mindset. I said, well, it's good to ask, yeah, when you go and gather. When I go and gather, I always ask Akua, okay, Akua, I'm going to gather, I'm going to harvest. And I ask Akua to bless the plant and give me the strength to make the laʻau, and that also bless the laʻau so that the person who needs the healing, it will work for him. So, you know, there's that spiritual component, yeah, when you're making laʻau. I have a kupuna that always helps me, and she asked me one time, she goes, Kumo, you pray over the plant, the laʻau, yeah? I go, well, I pray when I harvest, I pray when I plant, I pray when I make the laʻau, you know, prepare the laʻau. I pray all the time. She goes, see? So she was talking to someone, yeah, telling them, you know, my kumu, she pray over the laʻau. That's why her laʻau is real good, you know, it works. But if that, you know, being mindful, yeah, about what you're doing, yeah, and intentional. You have to have that kind, yeah, be intentional about what you're doing, and things always, you know, if it's laʻau or if it's fishing, you're gonna go do. If you're very intentional, it all works out. Ay, makika. Okay, that's good enough. So I just give it a quick shoot, you know, shoot down with the water hose.
ʻAnake, he nina o kekahi o lako. O nina o kekahi. Ina makemake lako e kanu, pehea pono e nana ke kanu anu ma ka mahina, like he mahina maikai no ke kanu anu o ka Olena, ai ole.
O ka mahina mahealani. The mahealani moon is the best, but any of the moons before mahealani, like Hua and Akua, is really good. And you know, you can plant this part of the Olena back into the left, or just gotta cut off the leaf, or you can take these guys here. You notice that it's starting to already have all of the young shoots and then all the leaves coming up, yeah. So you can just plant this guy here, the rhizome. Doesn't have to be only the plant like that. So I just shoot it down, and then I'm gonna take you guys inside, and I'm gonna show you guys how to clean it, and then we're gonna learn about some of the laʻaus that I make with this guy. So people ask, do you have to cook it in order to eat it? I go, no, I eat mine raw. So you can eat this both raw and cooked. The only problem about eating it raw is that if you don't clean it good, you don't know what is in your lepo, yeah, sometimes. So it's best that you clean them real good. I'm very strict about cleaning my Olena real clean. So I just peel off all of that outer skin. I don't need anything because I prefer it raw. So, any questions?
Ako hindi na iki manawa. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Oh, sorry, I was gonna talk to everybody in Hawaii. If you guys have questions, just put them in the chat.
there you go. The chat. Okay, we're gonna go inside and I'm gonna go make laʻau. Oh, maka mea, maka numi kuke, ke olu. Now, pahakakako. Anybody have questions?
You guys can ask if you like.
Anybody want to look at the plant more closely? I can show you guys the plant up close more.
Yeah, I want to see more of the flower and how the flower is attached.
Yes, I know this flower is so cool. Yeah, so it's attached to the plant, to the stem like this. You can see it?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
And then this is a young flower, so you don't see that flower that's usually inside, yeah? Because it hasn't appeared yet. Oh, mahalo. So we're just going to put all of this Olena into a bowl, and then we're going to go inside and clean them. I know the flower is beautiful. I love the flower, the Olena flower. And it has different colors too, yeah? Because have different varieties, yeah, of the plant. We have different varieties. We have the green Olena, and then we have they call it black, but it's kind of bluish. I don't have any right now to show you guys, but okay, we're gonna go to the Lumi Papa, where I set up all the Laʻau stuff. Kalena here, who is helping me today, was saying, wow, how ona it is, meaning fragrant. Okay, I think we're gonna jump on that guy over there, yeah? Easier, yeah, than this phone, California's. We're gonna switch off.
Hikino, ʻAnake.
I'm gonna go onto the
Kamea
computer.
makalumi, kamea makalumi.
Yeah.
Ah.
Hope you wanna go ko California.
Yeah.
Yeah, hiki ke lohe?
Oh, lohi ke lohe ke wala one oi ke kamepula. Oh, pea. ʻAnake, aoliki ke lohe. A pa'a ka wiki o makalumi. Oh, Eila. Yeah, ai.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hikino.
Oh, kako. No leila, eia ka ipu piha me ka mea, me ka Olena mai I loko. O ko'u make, o ka pahi Olena, a ka ke kai mau kona ka ho'ohana lako kia mea ihi. So hiki ake hana ka mea e kupono ia oe. No leila. Just hold my ma e vale. Yeah, ihi I ka ili. Me kia me ihi mai ka ino. Yeah, nana. O you ka mea nui? Loa hiki ake haumama e mai ka a. Lava kia. Oh, sorry, I'm talking Hawaiian, yeah, guys. Sorry.
Wo haiwa ia lako maka chat. Oh, hiki o ke hoa e unuhi me ka wiki.
Just peel it as much as you can, yeah. And then so one of the laʻau that I really like that I make with this with the Olena is the vai, we call it, or it's the drink that I make. Yeah, so it takes Olena, the fresh one. Yeah, and then I use I put some lemon juice inside. And then for Olena, it needs something to activate it. So you can use chili pepper, but I use fresh or frozen. The dry is too hard. And then the reason for the chili pepper is you need to activate the plant, I mean the Olena, yeah, when you're using it for medicine. So the chili pepper helps to activate it. Also, if you don't have chili pepper, you can just use black pepper. And all I do is I clean a whole bunch like this. And then I chop it up, you know, little like this. And then I throw it in this guy. This is the machine to get if you want to make the drink, the Olena drink that I make. I throw it all in till the top, and I add the lemon juice, and I add the chili pepper, lemon juice till the top. If you fill it up to the top, the lemon juice is going to be just as high as the Olena. And then I like to add a lot of chili pepper. So you can just add what is good for you. I usually put I fill up this whole thing with Olena and the lemon juice. And then I put like 14 pieces. You know why this is so important, the chili pepper? What the chili pepper does is it takes all the nutrients from the Olena and it just delivers it to your cells so efficiently that you receive the nutrition right away. And Olena has to do with inflammation, yeah? So if you have, you know, like plenty people, sore muscles, sore body, or headaches, headaches sometimes. I tell you, this Olena juice that I make, I just drink like just a jigger full, and you know, my headache gone in 2 shakes. So that tells me it has to do with inflammation. So this Olena is just one of the really good plants for that kind of stuff, for battling all the inflammation that we deal with, especially, you know, when we get my age. Some people, they don't like to clean the Olena like I'm cleaning now. But you know, for me, when I clean Olena, it just it puts me in a really nice place. And, you know, I even talk to the Olena and I tell her, Olena, oh, thank you so much for all your healing properties. You know, it's intentional. Yeah. It's anything with Laʻau, you gotta be, it help you participate, yeah, in the well-being of your health. Yeah, so that's why I like to do Laʻau. I like to cook because our Laʻau, our medicinal herbs is our food, and we are the Laʻau. The Laʻau are us. So that's why I love doing this. So put it in your Ninja. The Ninja is the best. Get a Ninja. Not that, what is that? I don't want that. They have Vitamix that doesn't work. Ninja is the best. And then you just chum in there, throw some chili pepper, and then you just turn them on, and you know, you blend it, and it just gets all crushed and all mixed up. And then I just take that mixture out. I pour it into a cheesecloth, squeeze it, and then the juice is there. And you just drink that. It's so good for you. In fact, if you don't want to make the vai, you just throw Olena in your smoothie. That really works too. You know, whatever kind of fruits and vegetables you like to put in your smoothie, you throw that Olena in it with that, your smoothie, and that does the job too. So this is one way. I think this is one of the most efficient way to use the Olena. Make the drink, yeah, the juice. So that's one of the Laʻau we can do. Another laʻau that we use that we don't know much about or we don't practice too much, but it's such a good laʻau is the Olena. You either dry it or even fresh. You just put it in a jar like this. Can you see? In a jar. And then you just add any kind of alcohol you have. Vodka I have. And you let it sit in a jar for at least a month. And you strain it. And you know the juice that's in it? You just take, you know those droppers? You take just one drop. And this thing really works. If you're feeling run down, you, what is that? You feel like you're coming down with a cold because your throat is scratchy. This is the guy. Tinctures, we call it. Tinctures are just plants with alcohol. And whatever you have, can be vodka, can be rum, can be whatever you have, whiskey, scotch, whatever you have. Just use that. And it works. It really works, you know. Glass. It's best to have it in a glass container. It's more, you get better results. If you put it in plastic, you know, some plastics are not made well, yeah. So glass is the best container to use. So that's one of them. This is one of the laʻaus you can make with the Olena. And it really works. Okay, next thing. So that's just the laʻau part. Now the next part I'm going to show you guys is the fun part. So I sometimes dry the Olena because I have so much, you know, because this is the Olena after I'm done blending it. This is the pulp that's left. I take the pulp, throw it in my dehydrator, and I dry it all up. You can mix this with your salt. You know, your salt. I put Olena in my salt. I blend all this meat oil, throw it in my salt too. So it has so much things you can do with it. But the fun stuff that I do with it is I make this simple syrup. It's only sugar, 1 part sugar and 1 part water. You boil it. You throw all these pieces of Olena in it while you're boiling it, and that's it. And instead of drinking regular soda that has so much sugar, yeah. So you can either add regular cane sugar, granulated sugar, or you can do these new kind of sugars they have, like monk fruit sweetener, or what is the other ones they have out there? Stevia, right? Agave. That's another good sweetener. So you can test it, yeah, test it out, but just add like sparkling water. So what I do is I make the simple syrup, bottle it, and then I just make a picture of the simple syrup. I make tea with the Olena and all of the laʻau leaves. So I take the tea too, and I mix it with the water and the simple syrup. I add mint, calamansi or lemon or lime, and it makes a wonderful drink. And you're drinking laʻau, guys. And you drink Coke and Pepsi. No more laʻau in that. There's nothing nutritious about it. So simple syrup. Any questions so far? Oh, you guys are good students. You guys just listen. So I also bake with Olena. So I use, brownie mix just like this. Put it in a bowl. I don't add oil that it calls for, or the water. I do add the water. I don't add the eggs. So all I do is I have a package of the brownie mix, throw it in a bowl, I put, you know, the cuties. I, grate the rind, and then I squeeze the juice from the cuties, couple of cuties, one or two, and then I add all kinds of greens, like whatever greens I have. What is that? Spinach or zucchini. I just throw it in the mixture, and then I take, of course, fresh one I use, chili pepper, and I put it in water, and I use that chili pepper water to moisten the batter, and that's it. I just cook it. Thing is, oh no, you guys should try it. Okay, no questions so far? Oh, and yes, I do add the Olena too. It can be the dry powdered one or the fresh one. I added to the brownie mix. Questions? Anybody?
Well, a while back, I was curious on the soil mixture that you use in your pots.
Oh, okay. So my garden, the one we were just looking at right a little while ago, I just redid it. So I amended the dirt by pulling out all of the weeds, and then I put cardboard down, and on the cardboard I add all kinds of dry materials around the area, like dry tea leaves, dry branches, you know, small little branches. And then I layer it. Yeah, I put those kind of stuff. And if I have like compost from my my kitchen, like this is compost. It's good for compost. In fact, you can take all this. Well, I know a person that does. I don't. She just takes all of this skin from the Olena that we clean, and she makes tea with it. I don't use that. I use the clean Olena. I use this in my garden. It's good compost. So whatever you have in your house that you're composting, you know, all your skins from all of your fruits and vegetables, you just throw it in your garden when you amend it. And then I put like 4 inches of good dirt. And after I put the good dirt, the new dirt, then I put a really good amount of mulch. The mulch is what keeps the dirt from drying out and from getting exposed to the sun too much. Yeah. So it loses its nutrition. So when you cover it with the mulch, it really helps. And you can tell that you did a good job amending your garden, because there won't be any kind of pests. Because one of the things is pest. Yeah. Not with Olena so much, but you know, other plants that you plant, there's pest. So aphids. But in my garden, because I redid it, I re-amended it, the ladybug is back. So the ladybugs are good because they eat all the aphids off of the plant. So that means your soil is healthy when you do that. And it helps to have microorganisms. So microorganism is as simple as rice water. You know, your rice you wash and you got the water left over, keep it and leave it in a bottle. And then there's going to be all this stuff that forms on the top. That white stuff, that's the microorganism, and it's so good for your garden. So I just take the whole bottle of rice water with all that thing on the top, and I just throw them inside my garden. The other thing is bananas, you know, banana leaves, or not leaves, the peels. You just soak that in water and then let all that stuff on the top form, and then you throw them in your garden and bury it in your garden. So microorganism is another good thing for your garden. And you know, your plants are only going to be as good as your soil. And if your soil is not healthy, your plant is not going to be healthy. And then your, you know, what you harvest is not going to be as, you know, as potent as you know, want it to be. So it really starts with your soil. Yeah. Any questions? Other question? Good question. I like that question.
Ke kai mea e, Auntie, How much dried powder Olena do you add to the brownie mix when you're doing it?
Oh, I usually to one recipe, I just use like half a cup on. You don't need much, just half a cup. And then if you double it, then you go. But me, I put plenty because I like the taste of the Olena. So it's really to your taste. Like how when you put the chili pepper, yeah, in your vai. It's how you like it. That's how you season it.
Eh. Alele, kikai me can you eat too much Olena?
So I hear about how okay, you only can take so much Olena, so many amount, so many days, and then you gotta rest. So as a rule, Hawaiian medicine is like that. You do like 3 days on, 2 days off. So you do your regimen, yeah, your Laʻau for 3 days, and then for 2 days you rest. So that's how I do with the Olena too, because it's just a common practice with regular Hawaiian Laʻau. So what was I gonna say about Laʻau? So Laʻau, Hawaiian Laʻau, yeah. Our rule is you only take the Laʻau during the day. Like first thing in the morning is good to take your Laʻau, especially Olena. When you take Olena in the evening, it's going to keep you up. It's like taking caffeine. So all Hawaiian Laʻau, we all do it in the morning. Whatever you on, noni or, popol or whatever, you do them only in the morning. So one of the most mildest way, gentler way to have Laʻau in your system is to make tea. So you take all the dried leaves, like the Olena has not only the rhizomes, but you can use the leaves also. And I just, I boil a big pot of water, and I just throw whatever Laʻau I want in it. Olena rhizome, Olena leaves, or popolo leaves, whatever I have. And then I just boil it all up, and then I let it, cool down, and then I just fill up all of my jugs. So people ask, oh, can we drink too much tea? I said, yeah, you can drink too much tea because tea, believe it or not, it dehydrates you. So you have to hydrate again when you drink tea. So what I tell my people is when they carry their water bottle around like this, put your water in your container, put tea that you boil all your Laʻau in. I also add, citrus like lemon, lime, calamansi. You can even add mint, even fruits, like orange or vegetables, cucumber. Some people put apple cider vinegar. That's good too. So only plain water doesn't have electrolytes, and our bodies need electrolytes. And that's what the tea does. Yeah, it delivers all those things, especially the fresh citrus that you put in too. And then you just drink it all day long, and drink it as much as you want and every day. So that's my my rule. That's how I do it, so that you don't overdo the Laʻau because you've diluted it, yeah, with water. So it's not too much or too little. It's just enough. Yeah. Good question. Next question. Anybody has another question?
Our growing season here is kind of short, right?
Right.
So,
yes.
yeah. So I was just listening where you were talking about, what did you say, 4 to 6 months looking for the growth? I'm trying to think of a plant that we would have to do the same thing, like bring it into the garage and put some burlap on it, and kind of go through that process.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, what are your thoughts about that, to give us some some help. So
So if you plant it in a pot, it's much better that you have it in a pot, yeah, so you can transport it.
right.
I always have Olena growing all the time. So the ones that I just planted, I wait for two planting cycles. But I already have other Olena that I planted, a while ago. So I always have Olena on hand because I use it a lot. So for you guys, because of your weather, I think in the pot is a good idea. So you can transport it in and out, and you can plant it at intervals, like one pot in the month of January, then February, another pot, and then every month do one like that. 'Cause that's what I do
Yeah.
around here. And then you always have.
Right.
Olena.
So is Olena a shade plant or does it need full sun?
Olena, you can even just leave the Olena in a tray, because I have Olena all over my house, trays, and it just grows on its own, even without my watering it. So it takes sun, yes, it should have some sun, but it'll grow even if you just keep it in a little bag, it still will grow. A lot of those bags with Olena just kind of sprouting,
Right.
Yeah, and so I take it out and I throw it in the garden. Yeah.
Right. So I guess we guys just start experimenting, right? Find the yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Auntie Louise, just because our weather here. So my grandmother, a house that they just got here, they're growing it in front of their yard. At first we thought it was ginger, but we were wrong. It's it's Olena, and it's still growing right now.
Yeah, it's a very hardy plant.
Yeah, it's like growing massively right now. It's crazy.
Where in here, up here, Lake?
Yeah, Auntie, right down the street from our house.
What?
It's crazy. I didn't. Now that I'm looking at this plant, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Olena growing in their yard.
And bugs, even pigs don't like it. One of my problems here is the pigs, because we plant kalo in the ground. So that's why I had to put it up in the planter, because the pigs would come around and they would eat all my kalo. But the Olena, they will not touch it. I don't know what it is. They don't like the Olena. And the other plant that they don't like, that I'm starting to plant around my kalo, is comfrey. They don't like that plant either. So,
well, we have skunks in our backyard, so maybe this is a good idea. Maybe the Olena will scare the skunks away too.
maybe, yeah. Okay, any other question? Hola, ehia kea lei.
Kokoki kapalo hola e ono.
So, one last recipe I'm going to give you guys. I mean, it's not really a recipe, but I'm going to tell you guys one of the most wonderful laʻau I make, and people just loves it, is the laʻau kunu, I call it, the cough syrup. I think, Lei, I just sent you a whole bunch, yeah?
Aye.
This guy here, the cough syrup. It has Olena, of course, and then ginger, pocket ginger, and then honey, lemons, whole lemons. I don't have whole lemons on me. Whole lemons and cloves. So all I do is I clean a whole bunch of Olena, a whole bunch of ginger and lemons. I throw it in, the food processor. It's so much easier. I should cut them by hand. Throw it in a food processor. The Olena separate, and then the lemon separate, and then the ginger, of course, separate. And then you throw it all in a big bowl, mix it up, add your honey and your cloves. And what I do is, because I have a steamer here, I just throw it in a big pan and I steam it up for a couple of hours and then let it cool down, and I bottle them. It's so good for any kind of stuff. you feel you have scratchy throat, you feel like you're coming down with a cold, this is the guy to go to, the Laʻau Kunu. And it's so funny because I make the Laʻau and I forget about it. So, one day I was feeling really run down and I thought, oh my God, what's going on? Because I'm busy, yeah. Sometimes forget to eat, sometimes I don't get enough sleep. I went, Tuti, you have the Laʻau Kunu, take the Laʻau Kunu. Just a teaspoonful. I was good to go. I didn't even have to sleep and wake up and feel good. Right after I ate it. Even when I have headaches now, this is what I do. I do this guy, the Laʻau Kunu. So, Lei, since you always you have me send it to you. You can make your own now. Go make your own, Lei.
Hiki o ke ho'ovo.
That's why I'm doing these classes. I want everybody to know how to do it and use it, because all these synthetic drugs are not good for us. These are all organic. Any other questions? Mana'o?
So I know you have made dessert. Now, have you done Olena, dry Olena in like a main dish or an entree, or what's your favorite? What's your favorite?
I do Olena, just a powdered guy.
Yeah.
When I'm just cooking anything, when I'm just making soup or stir frying, I just add Olena powder like this. When I'm making soup, I do the whole Olena. But when I'm stir frying, because I don't have the fresh one, I just throw the powdered one in. I throw Olena, even the other Laʻaus that we have, like popolo. I grind it down like this to powder form,
Right.
and sprinkle it on my food, like
Seasoning
barbecuing, like my
or something.
I just season it. You can just add this to your salt and salt, make it all with Olena, and then just salt your food with that. It's so versatile. You can use it. You can even use this dry powdered one in your smoothies. Remember, I was talking about smoothie, yeah?
Right.
Just use it.
Just use it.
Use it. It's like my other Laʻau, like the I make the oil, the lomi oil with all the dried herbs, and people call me and they tell me, oh, Kumo, I just hit myself on the whatever on something, and I have this big bruise. I go, didn't I give you Isla? They go, oh yeah, no. I go, yeah, put the Isla on. This one person, one student of mine, she bruised herself, so she put the Isla, and now it looks better. And then she had a dog. Her dog ran into something and hurt his eyes. It started to bleed, yeah, and then it formed a growth. So she was trying all kinds of stuff, yeah, because the vet gave her some stuff and never worked for the dog. So I told her, Isla, how come you don't use your Isla? So she goes, yeah, I know, Kumo, I could use the Isla on my dog. And not only did the growth fall out of his eye, but the bleeding stopped. Today we just had like a garage sale, and I brought my Laʻau there to this friend road, and this lady that was there said, because she saw the Isla, the oil that I have, and she goes, oh, that is magic. You know that thing there? She's pointing at my the oil that I make, and she goes, that's magic. I just had hip replacement, and you know something? I put that oil on, and the cut that they made, yeah. She said it's almost, you can't even see it. That's how good that Isla is. And she goes, oh, magic, guys. This is magic. You guys should use this. So, if you one of the things I tell my patients or my clients is that you got to believe, yeah, in what you're doing, what you're using, yeah, or else it's not going to work. Your healing is all up to you. If you want to heal, you will heal, and you will heal without even having to have to take all these things. If you really believe, yeah, it'll always work. That's why I always do my pule before I take any kind of Laʻau. I do a pule, And then when I'm making my laʻau, I also ask for the, the mana to make the laʻau. So that's why people always say, "Oh, kumu your laʻau is so cool." I go, "No, it's not me. It's akua," because I'm just the person that makes it. But the real healer is really you and your God. If you believe in what you do and it's gonna help you, then it will. So, any questions before we go?
Mahalo, Argent. Yeah. Okay, how do I find Olena in Oregon? I think Olena is turmeric. So we have that up here at the.
Don't know how if you guys have what is the cycle up there, receiving your produce. So you just gotta kind of look at the kind. Usually farmers market is good to go because people grow it at their house and then they sell it at the farmers market like we do here. But you know what I found here at Costco? Olena. They're selling Olena, and their Olena is beautiful. It's like this,
Yeah.
big and fat. I was looking at it the other day and I thought, oh, I wonder whose garden this Olena came from. I was wondering if it was a local farmer or it's from the mainland. I don't know, but I was shocked. I mean, at the farmer's market, I'm not shocked, but Costco, wow. Yeah, here.
Yeah. I saw, yeah, they have it at Costco over here too, Auntie Kim. But Auntie Kim, you know where else you can find is like New Seasons, but on the corner of 185th and what is it, TV Highway. There's that local farmers produce place right at the corner right there.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Auntie, they have it. But you know what? Since Carlo, we're working on our greenhouse right now. I guess this is another thing we need to put into our mala and start.
This is gonna be easier for you to grow than your kalo. Your kalo gonna be the kind finicky, especially if your lepo not good. Kalo loves fish emulsion. If you have a good amount of fish emulsion in your soil, they'll do really good.
Woohoo! Okay, no, mahalo. Any other need now?
Next month, let's do uhaloa. And if I don't have enough on uhaloa, I'll add another laʻau. Not sure which one.
Ay. Awesome. Oh, mahalo nui, ʻAnake.
Oh, wale pili kia mahalo o kia kua.
Ay, mahalo.
Mai kai a ole bau.
Mahalo nui.
O e pu no kou ai ana mai ke ia. Papa. Makako.
Ay. Oh, mahalo everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Oi,
Stay healthy. Be well. Hui ho kako kia mahina next month, yeah? You let me know the day.
Ay, hikino.
Okay?
Okay, mahalo.
Mahalo.
Aloha, wiho.
Hui ho.
Aloha.
I know, nani, yeah?